So since Brett Kavanaugh taking a seat on the Supreme Court pissed off a lot of people, I thought I would make this video talking about what's happening with regards to universal energies. When someone tries to gain more power, the universe is going to look at that person as a soul. Who are they? What do they stand for? What are their beliefs and what are their attitudes? And are they aligned with truth and the light? That's going to decide whether or not they have the support of universal energies and the light in gaining that power. Well, since Brett Kavanaugh's belief system is flawed and he's aligned with falsities and not the truth, he does not have the support of universal energies in attaining more power. So the truth basically goes after him and grabs onto his ankle and does not let go, meaning truth from however far back. So if you have skeletons in your closet, they're going to come out. So enter Christine Blasey Ford. She came forward and spoke her truth that he had assaulted her at a party many years ago. And she was basically speaking for the light. God was working through Christine Blasey Ford. She set her ego aside, decided not to worry what people think of her in pursuit of truth. So she displayed courage and bravery, and she suffered as a result of it. I mean, she had to move, she got death threats. I mean, she had all sorts of ramifications for speaking her truth, but she did it anyway. So I applaud you, Christine. You're awesome. Thank you for being brave and for doing something you didn't have to do. You didn't have to do it, but you did. And so thank you very much for allowing God to work through you. And so the fact that Christine stood up and said, this guy isn't who you think he is. You know, I want to talk about this guy's character. He's not who you think he is. Well, that's the light trying to talk to us and saying, hey, we don't want this guy on the Supreme Court and neither should you. Here's why. So that's what happened. And, you know, due to human free will, he still ended up on the Supreme Court. Now, does the truth and the light just let go of Brett Kavanaugh's ankle? No. I'll just let it go. That will always haunt him. That will always chase him around. And as a matter of fact, the light will always haunt him because he's aligned with the dark. So they'll bring out other truths about him. Just because he's on the Supreme Court doesn't mean the truth leaves you alone. Truth never leaves you alone. It always goes after you. Especially if you're working against the light and your free will has placed you with the dark, which means you have made an enemy of the light. You don't want to do that, Brett. Sorry you did. So he's not off the hook, in case that's what you guys think, just because somebody got on the Supreme Court and got more power. He will always, always, always be in a vulnerable spot. So, wouldn't want to be him, I'll tell you that. But I know Christine suffered for truth, and I don't want you guys to think that it ends there for her. Because part of her is probably like, why did I do it? What's the point? Blah, 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 blah. Well, number one, girl, you got some serious good karma right now, so I suggest you start Googling power manifestation and how to do it. You need to start commanding universal energies and asking the universe for what you want and what you need, because you will get it. You got some serious karma gas in your tank right now, so make that work for you. You're speaking for the light. You're a little light worker. And you did such a good job, by the way. I mean, to get up in front of everybody and be as eloquent as you were and do as good of a job as you did. I mean, you did so well in front of everybody. So I just feel like she had her angels around her when she was speaking her truth. That's what it looked like to me. I saw the angels buzzing around her and helping her with what to say and what to do. And yeah, it was pretty majestic to watch. It was a beautiful sight to see. But it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't for nothing. The universe owes you now, girl. He has your back. The divine saw everything. The divine knows what Christine Blasey Ford did. He knows exactly what Brett Kavanaugh did. He knows, okay? So I really want her to be proud of the fact that she spoke her truth. And, hopefully that helped her too. Hopefully on an emotional level that was cathartic for her to finally get it out. It's like embarrassing to share all this personal stuff with the world, but at the same time, hopefully it helped her release it. So that was the light working through Christine. And it was, another thing I want to add is that it was really nice watching the light work through somebody so clean with pure intentions. It was really nice watching the light work through somebody with personal power who wasn't shackled to a negative entity such as the Democratic or Republican parties. Watching a private citizen walk up there, she's as clean as the Parkland students. Just superhero all the way, man. It was really nice to watch, like I said. So she, inspired others to come forward and speak their truth, which is also awesome. And, like I said, unfortunately, due to human free will, he still got the seat. Humans have free will. We just do. We're influenced by light and dark. Light and dark are constantly battling each other. But they're saying that the dark won the battle and not the war. So it's kind of like the dark sitting there like, woo, party, and the light saying, yeah, we're not done with you. We're not done with you yet. You won the battle, but not the war. So then there's the Democrats. They're constantly battling the Republicans, but they're so incredibly weak that it's just watching dark versus dark, because both the Democrats and the Republicans have impure intentions where they're concerned about the intentions of their wealthy donors and not the people. So because both parties are corrupt, the divine is pretty much over all of them. And now that the Supreme Court is completely compromised in its integrity, the divine is against the Supreme Court now as well. So things are starting to make more sense because things that I've said in older videos are more clear now, where it's like, yeah, the divine is over the U.S. government as a whole. And it has been interesting to watch the news lately because I have heard people say, yeah, I'm watching termites, bust into all branches of our government now. It's literally like watching these termites just creep in from all sides to all branches. And people saying, yeah, it's like this weird force just coming into our government and infiltrating it, this like evil force. I'm like, yeah, that's the dark. That's the dark. So it is interesting to watch these news anchors put it in their own terms. And I'm like, yeah, that's why the divine is done. Our system is tainted and he's completely over it and he intends to replace it. Replace. When I was, writing my other video, I wrote down, and the divine is going to change our system, and he had me change it to replace. No, Christine, I'm going to replace the system. So that's his intent. So, it's not like things are getting better, they're getting worse. And if you need proof, just look at how the dark is working. Oh, global warming doesn't exist. Oh, let's, screw over the EPA. Who needs them? They have no important function. We don't need them. Let's piss off all of our allies because we don't need them. We're a lone wolf. We don't need anybody. We can just be independent all by ourselves. Not like we're all connected, like the collective consciousness, whatever. Hey, let's pass bills that take money away from the people and give it to the wealthy. Let's take money away from Medicare and Medicaid because screw the people. We're going to give it to the wealthy. And it's so interesting that these people think they can get away with it. They think no one's watching. It's like, he's watching. He's watching. And he's not happy at all. So, sorry you guys don't believe in karma because yours is pretty bad. Money is power, so they need to weaken the people. They got to take money away from the people and give it to the wealthy because they got to transfer that balance of power. And they're actually going to negatively affect the economy. That's what's so interesting is watching everyone think, oh, our economy's booming right now. It's like, no, that's actually an illusion. Don't trust that at all. Don't trust that at all. I wouldn't trust our economy at all. It looks like it's booming, but that's a bunch of BS. Another thing is I would not want to be in the military right now. And I feel really, really bad for you if you're in the military right now because your life is in the hands of somebody who's not okay in the head. Donald Trump has narcissistic personality disorder, and his ego is what guided him to run for president in the first place, and his ego is what he uses to guide him forward. So all he needs to learn is something that Obama didn't do that he wants to do to overshadow Obama and make himself look cool, so he'll send the military in and sacrifice your lives for his ego, just to make him look good for petty stuff. So I wouldn't trust his decision-making process at all. So basically the dark is in charge of our military right now. I mean, that's pretty bad too. Look at all the fighting and the disagreeing and the separation we have as a country. People arguing and not getting along, people divided. It's like, that's exactly what the dark wants. Let's separate everybody out and make them weak so we can overtake them. This is all strategy. It's like, let's go through the checklist. Just go through the checklist. If I were evil and I wanted to take over the United States, what would I do? Just a checklist. Just check it off the list, because all of that is happening right now. There's multiple dynamics going on. But in order to throw the people off, I'm going to throw them a bone. I'm going to do little good things here and there in order to throw people off and make them think I'm not that bad. It's like, no, you're bad. No, you're bad. I see right through that. So the United States is actually weaker than we've ever been. It's like, make America great again? No. Sorry, Kanye West. Maybe Saturday Night Live wasn't the best platform to give your speech, which is why they cut the feed. So universal energies are responding to all of our fighting. However, we are allowed to be divided. We have free will. You don't have to agree with me. You have free will. So we're allowed to believe in this and we're allowed to believe in that. But at the end of the day, who's aligned with truth? Whoever is aligned with truth is holding the divine's hand. So truth will prevail, the divine will prevail, and the light will prevail. But we just need to align ourselves with the light. So we, the American people, looking at everything that's happening and looking at the branches of our government that has really just been taken over by evil, we have hearts, we have souls, we have consciences, we have compassion. Is that a word, consciences? We're conscientious, whatever. We have compassion for one another. What feels right to us? Where's our morals? Where's our values? Is this okay? Is this all right, what's happening in our country right now? Is this all right? Is this good enough for us? Having Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court now and compromising the integrity of it, and having Donald Trump in the White House and compromising the integrity of that, there's nothing left. There's no integrity left. The Democrats, are bought. They cater to their donors. The Republicans are bought. They cater to their... There's just... Where are the people in all this? Where are we? Do we matter? Because the big guy upstairs, the creator, is actually saying that we do. Now, the people who are corrupt think that this is just one big secret. Nobody knows. And if anybody found out, I would just lie to cover it up. It's like, well, you got a problem. You got a spy. You got one big spy, also known as our creator. He's all-knowing, and he knows absolutely everything, which is why he intends to change this system that's become so screwed up. He's done with it. He's done with it. He's over it. So he's asking the people to get off the couch and speak their truth and demand a second election, saying we deserve better than this. But I know he set the intention for Bernie Sanders to be in charge, because Bernie Sanders is going to fix everything that evil, also known as Demon Don, Donald Trump did. So Bernie Sanders has his work cut out for him. But the divine's going to work through Bernie Sanders, so that'll be cool. But then Bernie Sanders also needs to leave the Democratic Party, because he's compromising his power right now. So even if there are people within the Democratic Party who are working for the light, doesn't matter. They're compromising their power. They've rendered themselves weak by being a part of the Democratic Party, because they've shackled themselves to a negative entity. So universal energies for them are compromised, so they're too weak also. But, the divine is asking us to decide if this is what we deserve. Do we trust this system? Do they have our best interests at heart? Or should we decide that we want something more? And that's where we need to say, universe, I reject this reality. Bring me something better now. And I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to fight for truth, because this isn't okay. This isn't what our country stands for. I recognize this is the dark. I recognize this is an evil force taking over our system. They gotta go. Now, the U.S. government only has as much power over the American people as the American people give it. So if we feed into that, we can stop. We have the power to take their power away. And that's exactly what the divine is asking us to do. And the divine is also saying that he's going to give us the power to do that via karmic balancing. So the U.S. government has bad karma because of everything they've done to the American people. They just don't know it. So karmic balancing is gonna push the American people in a position of power above the U.S. government. We're just gonna take over because we're gonna have the power and we're gonna be holding the divine's hand, whereas they won't. So the dynamic is going to happen. I know I've been making videos for years, so people are probably ready to press stop, and they're overhearing. They're over my broken record. They're over, hearing the same thing over and over again. They're done with my broken record. When is this all going to happen? Well, when are we going to decide this isn't good enough? We have free will. We have to meet the divine halfway. So when are the American people you're being shown things. So when are you going to decide, okay, I've seen enough. I'm ready. I've seen enough. I'm ready to knock this sandcastle down and build a stronger one in its place. We deserve better than this. This isn't good enough. This isn't fair to us. We're a collective. We're all connected, and we're not acting like it. We're just responding to fear and anger and separation, racism, bigotry, sexism, etc. We're above all this. We're above all this. So, like I said, the U.S. government only has as much power over us as we give it. So, if you don't like what you see, command universal energies to change it. We're all just a bunch of witches and warlocks who are constantly commanding universal energies, so command universal energies to change it. Say, universe, I reject this reality, bring me something better. Manifest, a better system. But we need to create the People's Party, consisting of the people. And it's kind of like Noah's Ark. If you build it, they will come. So the People's Party is literally like building Noah's Ark, and then everybody shows up to support it. Money, love, abundance, financial support, major financial support. The divine has interesting ways of doing things once you get off the couch and align yourself with truth and really demonstrate that personal power. Because like I said, we are all superheroes. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.